Okay, so hit record, April, and there we go. Okay, I'm gonna start it. So I feel right now like whenever I talk about Brahmacharya in the Yoga Sutras, or in the Yamas and Niyamas, Brahmacharya is celibacy, and nobody ever wants to talk about Brahmacharya. But I'm not going to talk about Brahmacharya. We're going to talk about humility, because it's one of the pillars of joy, and I've just been on that kick lately. And I think humility has a similar, I don't want to focus on that kind of idea, you know? And I get that, right? Like, when you think of how to build joy in your life, that probably doesn't spring to the top of the list that populates in your mind. But something that I have noticed is that it may not spring joy to just dive right into something with an air of humility, but I will tell you what, if I do not exist and move forward with an air of humility in my life, it tends to zap my joy. And one example, I'm going to turn this down a little bit, sorry, shove the thing away, is that if I don't go in with an air of humility and I go in with the opposite, which is letting my ego drive things, and my ego seems to hold the very, very, very false notion that I can do all of the things and I must do them perfectly all of the time, and I don't need anybody's help, and I'm a huge failure if I don't succeed at that. So if I let the ego run the show and work away from humility, that's the fastest way to zap my joy, right? Despite all of my best or worst intentions, I cannot do everything all of the time without any help and perfectly. I'm going to mess up all of the time. I've gotten really good at that over the years. But since I'm not required to be perfect all of the time, and that I can seek assistance and seek connection with other people, that's where the joy happens. That's where doing maybe better at one point happens, and sometimes not, it's not about getting everything perfect. That's why we call it the yoga practice and not the yoga perfect, because I never would have gotten this far into this if it were called yoga perfect or if that was expected of me, right? The humility is a connection. So some of the etymology of this, some of the etymology of humility comes from a return to the soil, a return to the earth. It's very grounding, very much rooted in connection and just being human. Even the Dalai Lama was talking about when he goes and gives talks to tens and hundreds of thousands of people, be it going up in front of them, and this Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop, is well, don't you feel like you're all of a sudden moving out of humility and you're just the big head honcho up on stage? And the Dalai Lama said, no, that's always my goal, to not be in that space, because I want to go up every time, whether I talk to one person or a million people, I want to be just another person with them. And my sincere hope is that I can just be some other person to them. That we can just have this human-to-human, person-to-person interaction. We exist on that same space, where there are no barriers, there are no bullshit. It's just us being people. Let's work towards the movement of our human skins. We'll get into some physical practice. Take your index finger and your thumb together, starting at the center of your forehead, and brush outwards towards your temples. So you're using just that squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb. And going from the sides of your nose out towards your temples, along your cheekbones. And your temples down towards your chin, along your jawline. The sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines. Then bringing your fingertips underneath and behind your ears, feeling for the soft spots, massaging them, lifting upwards from the bony spots. keeping that lift as you rest your hands down into your lap. If it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes. Just start taking some long, deep breaths. Long inhales and long exhales, in and out through the nose if that's comfortable to you. Another deep breath in through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. You open your eyes, if you need to switch the cross of your legs or adjust anything about your seat, go ahead and do that. And then you'll just take one arm in front of you, cross your elbows, and see how winding the hands up goes. If that doesn't feel great, you can just leave the arms at a V and press the elbows towards each other or hold onto your shoulders. Draw the elbows down, lift the backs of your ears up a little bit more. Try to soften your lower ribs in. Take another deep breath in. And deep breath out. And unwind and recross the arms in the other direction. You can hold your shoulders or press your hands together or make that a V shape. Elbows down, ears up. Fronts of the ribs softening down and in. Take 2 more long, deep breaths. Start to unravel your arms. Set the right hand down and reach your left arm up and over. Relax your left hip down a little bit more. Let the arm bone come forward slightly so that the back of your shoulder blade has some space. Take another breath in and stay there as you exhale. And then you're going to relax your head down, reach your left arm out. And then see if you can drop your chin down a little bit so that you're getting a big stretch along the side of your neck. Let out another exhale. Start to lift yourself back to the center. You can relax your left arm. And then set the left hand down and reach the right arm up and over. Lift or push down through your right hip. Let that shoulder come forward slightly. So I'm not dipping down. I'm just letting the upper back be open as well. Let out one more exhale. Then you're going to take your arm and reach it back to the right. Relax your left ear down and then move your chin forward just a little bit. One more exhale. Relax your arm, lift your head up, take yourself back to the center. One more while we're seated. Take your hands back, roll your shoulders back, and lift your heart up and forward. The movement of your breath inside of your ribs. more. Inhale, letting that soften as you exhale, and then starting to come down onto your back. You can stand up on anything like I tend to. Go ahead and scooch that away, and then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rock around a little bit. Maybe use your hands to move the knees around, massaging your hips into the floor. You might move those circles a few times in the other direction if you were in fact making circles in your hips. And keep hold of your right leg, let your left leg extend away from you, and then relax your right leg. Let the left leg be the active one. So the extension of your left leg is what softens at your right hip. Take 2 more breaths. Soft on the right, active on the left. Relax the left leg so you can take it in. Hold on to the left leg and slide your right leg out, and then let the right side be the more active one, the left side be more passive. So the left side is receiving what the right side is doing. One more exhale. And then bring your right knee in, take a breath in. On your exhale, push your left foot out and forward. And you don't have to have it very low to the ground because that's going to be hard. Inhale, take the left leg in. Exhale, push the right leg out and forward. And this is plenty, especially if you're not really wanting to get super firm with your movement or super heated. But if you wanted to lift the head up, if you wanted to extend the leg a little bit closer towards the ground, those are just options. It doesn't need to be the most intense, crazy ab work thing. You make this just as involved as you like. Try to stick with the breath first. You're going kind of at your own pace. Go one more time with the left leg out and then with the right leg out. And then bring the right leg back in again. Go ahead and let the left leg just flop down towards the floor. And then you'll take a little twist, guiding the right knee across the body. Take your right arm open, and then soften your right shoulder. Softening at the belly. One more exhale. And come back, relax the right leg and draw the left one in. You can slide the right leg out and then move the body into a twist. Taking the left leg across the body, opening the left arm. Let your belly soften. One more exhale. Back to your back, bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze, and then start to rock yourself up and bring yourself into a child's pose. Just go ahead and curl your arms forward, sit your hips as far back as they will comfortably go towards your heels, and then find if your forehead does not touch the floor, or you don't really like putting your head on the floor, grab a block or a book or anything to put underneath your head so that your forehead is making contact, that you're having this grounding connection with, if not literally the soil, but with, the ground, the earth, the floor. Then start moving your head side to side, so you're massaging your forehead on the ground. Feel your hips moving side to side. You feel a little bit of a serpentine kind of movement start to take over your torso. Even a little bit of an S pattern through your spine. Then taking that upwards towards your table pose, take another couple of serpentine shifts. You might move your hips around or get a little weird with this for just another breath or two. And then settling into a more neutral spine when you're ready. If you need to pad up your knees, make sure to give yourself a moment to do that. And then we're gonna come into a cat pose. So come up onto your fingertips. And as you round your spine and tuck your tail in, feel yourself lifting up in the upper back. So it's kind of like you're sucking every bit of energy up through your arms, right into and maybe even like past your armpits. So you're really curling up and away from the floor. Take another breath in, stay there as you exhale. And then relax your back. You can go ahead and put your hands down, and then you're going to take the right arm forward and lift up out of that left shoulder. So you're feeling that sucking up towards your armpit, and then send the left leg back. You might feel a little bit wobbly. Opposition tends to be a little bit more supportive. It's a little more familiar to us. Go ahead and put your left knee down, and then just see what happens when you lift right arm and right leg. Reaching longer, hint, is a lot easier, and it can still be very awkward. So go ahead and just put that down. That was an interesting exercise and feeling silly. So we have to exercise it the other way. Take your left arm forward. Lift out of your right armpit, so you're lifting upwards, and then take your right leg back, left arm forward. So opposition. Going for a long, 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 long stretch of your limbs. Ideally still breathing. And then, I can't even get the right knee to go down. Put the right knee down whenever you can. And then try taking the left leg out. And think, longer. There's always one side that wants to balance more than the other. Okay, go ahead and put things down. Okay, curl the toes under, press back to a downward dog, just for a little check-in with how's the body feeling today, how much do we like the dog, what are we feeling in the down dog, do we have space for, just observing. And go ahead and come on down, and you're going to take a seat, and you just spring your legs out. Good. And then you're going to give yourself a foot massage. So take some toes, move your fingers around in your toes, whatever you want to do with your legs. We're not worried about the legs, we're just worried about the feet. Move your thumbs in between your toe bones and around in your foot bones as you go up through the arch. Try to squish all the squish places. Like maybe squish around the heel. Go back up towards the toes. And then switch sides. So I'm getting as much of the foot as possible, just moving things around. You don't have to be the best masseuse in the world. There are beautiful pieces of lineage and history and so many cultures about the beauty of taking care of another person's feet. I think you should take care of your own feet. I should take better care of my own feet. We walk around with the damn things all the time. So go ahead and take good care of your own feet, because you may be the only person there. If not, you may have to arrange that with another person to massage your feet. And then after you feel like you squished all the places, you got them a little bit looser, those feet, just rest in a way that's comfortable to you. Take your hands, interlace your fingers. And then keep switching the interlacing of your fingers, trying to go fairly quickly, trying not to lift your shoulders up towards your face, continuing the breath as much as you can, and then just realizing that at some point it's going to feel like you've been saying a tongue twister for too long and everything just gets funny and you have to kind of let it go. And then take your hands and interlace your fingers and start making some figure eights through your wrists. And we will explore my favorite ego checklist, which is to try to go in the opposite figure eight with the hands, which is, it's like wearing your pants backwards. It's probably worse than wearing your pants backwards, because I haven't worn anything but leggings in like 5 years, so those aren't even that bad to wear backwards. This is reverse. Okay, well, that was enough of that. Having hands and feet worked out, go ahead and come back to a down dog just to explore that maybe it helps you out a little bit. Maybe you got the hands nice and warmed up. Maybe you got the feet a little bit more relaxed. Open up the back of the legs. Just give yourself 2 deep breaths. Elbow lifted up. Keep lifting your armpits away from the floor. And then lower your knees down. Take your right foot outside of your right hand and turn your right knee and toe out to the side. Then go ahead and crawl your hands forward a little bit more. The external rotation of your right leg might give you a little more space to rest your hips down. You can stay here, or you can reach your right arm back behind you if you want to get a little bit more twist and heart opening in. It's completely up to you whether or not that sounds enjoyable. More exhale. Take your hands down. You're going to turn your right knee and toe forward. And then you're going to start to curl your back toes under and lift that back leg up. Now if your hip flies out to the side, this is where you start to pull it back. Take a breath in. Out. Then relax your left knee back down. Bring your right leg back. And then take your left foot forward. So it's going to go outside of your left hand. And then turn your knee and your toe out so you have that rotation of the whole leg. The hips can go a little forward. The hands might go a little forward. The left arm might reach back, but that's just optional. If you are reaching the arm back, open the heart. One more exhale. Then go ahead and take your hands down. So my hands are on the inside of my leg. I'm going to turn the left knee and the toe forward. And then I'm going to start to lift that back leg up off the ground. Try to make both legs really active. So if you push down in the front foot, it's going to help a lot to keep that hip underneath you. And then gently relax that right knee down. Pull the left leg back. And down onto your elbows for a moment. Just push from your elbows down into the floor, feeling your upper back relax. Maybe wiggle your fingertips around a little bit. Back into your hands. Put that same kind of effort into pushing into the hands so your upper back is open. Curl the toes, find a downward facing dog. One more exhale. And bring your feet towards your hands towards your feet. Find an easy fold. Find something to soften in your fold. Take your time coming up to standing. You can roll through your spine or you can walk your hands up your legs. Whatever feels good. It's still hot on this side of the globe. I feel like it's not as bad because it's not as hot as it was, but it's still hot. So if you're on my side of the globe, give it a moment. You can give it a moment anywhere. Sometimes it's just hot. What happens? I'll give it a moment. Anyway. Take your legs up pretty wide. Okay. And then go down into a fold. Just take yourself down in between your legs. Let your head relax forward. Maybe you push a little into the pinky toe edges of your feet. And then you're going to walk your hands over towards the right foot. You're going to turn the right toes out. Come up on your left toes. Lift your arms up. Keep pulling your right hip back. Don't let it glide out to the side. You're going to pull it right in. And then reach your arms back. If you want to hold hands with yourself, you could, or you can reach your arms back. You could also go down on your back heel. That'll make it a little easier to balance. And then you could send your arm forward. She says that she completely loses her balance. Just a quick visit, arrowhead or humble warrior. And then lift yourself all the way back up. Bring your hands to your heart and turn all 10 of your toes to face out towards this side. And then lower it all the way back down to that fold. Oh, goodness. It is way hotter than I thought it would be today. Oh, comparison makes a whole buttload of difference. If it's not 100 and something, I'm like, oh, it'll be cool. Okay, go ahead and walk yourself over towards the left leg, towards the other leg. You want to come up on the back toes, or you can have the back heel down. It'll be a little easier to balance that way. Go ahead and take your arms up. Make both legs really strong. And then send your heart forward. Reach your arms back. Make sure your hip stays underneath you and doesn't kind of bounce out to the side. Again, she says she's kind of used to balance. One more exhale. And then lift your arms back up. Nice. Turn all 10 of your toes out. And this time come into a fold again. Maybe this time you hold on to your elbows, or you hold on to your legs, or you bend your legs a lot more. You don't worry about going as far forward. One more exhale. Release your arms. Start to lift yourself up. Okay, stand. Bring your feet together. Together, split it. Sit back in a little chair pose. Put your hands to your heart. It might be a little easier to do some of the weird things that we're going to do now. You're going to try to lift all of the toes but the big toes. You can look at them to be sure, because who knows what the hell they're doing on there. And then lift up only the big toes, put the other toes down. And then try to lift all the toes and then put like one toe down at a time. And then like lift up one toe at a time. That's not working. But try to put down different toes first. Oh dear. And if you have like a favorite song that you would imagine you could play on the piano with your toes. It takes a lot of imagination to actually the toes. And then set your hips down a little bit lower. Whoa, let the exhale out. Nice, and go ahead and lift yourself back up. Take your arms up, make Charlie's Angels hands. And then lift up and stretch open. So you're now going to lean the weight forward towards your toes. And the fronts of your hips lift. And more breath in. Letting your hands come back down. Cross your left leg back behind your right leg. Hold your left wrist. And take yourself into a side bend, pushing more into your back foot. Let your left hip forward a little bit. One more exhale. And then switching sides, you'll hold on to your right wrist. Take your right arm, your right leg back behind. Push into that back foot. Turn your right hip a little further forward. Maybe that top shoulder rolls a little further forward. One more exhale. Come up, release your arms. Go ahead and set your feet down. Bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips down. Bring your hands behind your back. Now you can hold your hands onto your hips, or you could hold elbows behind your back, but maybe you take your hands and you bind them back there. Start with the bent elbows, and then drop your belly towards your thighs. Drop your head down. If the arms want to reach up and over your head like this, they can do that. You can decide that hands and hips or hands and elbows was significantly more enjoyable. Let out another breath out. And then relax your arms. Start to lift yourself up to standing. Or bring your hands to your heart, bring your feet in underneath you in case they were just a little bit too wide just now. And then you're going to stand up on let's say stand up on your left leg, lift the right leg up in front of you. And then we're going to start going between a little warrior 3 and a little standing balance. We're just going to go from one to the other. Okay, like an exhale to the warrior 3 and an inhale to the standing balance. And you're going to wobble around. You're not wobbling around because you are a bad yogi. You are wobbling around because your body is doing what it is designed to do, is to find good balance. That means it has to kind of like search it out and fail a couple times and maybe drop your toe, and all of those muscles and bones and stuff in the foot that we've been working out and getting a little bit more flexible. We're doing that so that you have the ability to be more adaptable to these weird things. Your body gets better at keeping you balanced, even when it's wobbly. Go ahead and set your foot down. Also, this is really good for working your glutes, which are really good at keeping you balanced. So you're welcome. Buns of steel. Oh. One side wants to balance and the other one is like I'm in the Karate Kid. Okay, and then take the leg back. Good, and then lift it up. I mean, like, not that I won anything in the Karate Kid. Like, the kid who maybe wasn't allowed to be on screen in the Karate Kid. Oh man. Okay, keep going with the breath. Wobbling as much as your little foot part desires. Maybe you've got one more. If you counted the last time and you were like sure as to how many you need to do, you can go ahead and take care of that. I don't count anything. And then eventually just letting your foot down. Nice job. Woo. Okay, well that was a lot of standing stuff. Let's not do that anymore. Take a nice big breath in, lift your arms up. From your exhale, fold it down. Bring your hands down. If you would like a down dog, you can walk yourself back to a down dog for a bit. If you're thinking a child's pose sounds really yummy, go ahead and meet me there. If you need to take a down dog for a little bit, then you'll just meet in a child's pose when you are quite done with that. And let's give about 3 more breaths just to sort that out. Start to lift yourself up onto your hands and knees. You do a couple more bounces. You're going to be on the knees for a little bit. If you need to pat that up, go ahead and pat that up. And then you're going to take your, what are you doing? Okay, let's take the left toes up in the air. So my leg is bent, my toes are going up. Now, lift your inner thighs. It's going to help to keep your hips a little bit more balanced. You're going to look over your right shoulder and let your eyeballs find your toes. Once your eyeballs have found your toes, it is much easier for your hand to find your toes. The eyeballs will help to relay the message. And then you might push the heart forward and the toes up and feel very strange, very silly, very twisty. And then that was quite enough. Go ahead and set your hand and your knee down. And then go for the other side. So you're going to take your right toes up in the air and you're going to look over your left shoulder. And once your eyeballs find the foot, hopefully the hand got the message. You can lift up. And then kick the foot up. And then go ahead and set your hand and your knee down. And then we're going to do another dog. We're going to do another couple dogs. So if you need to give a little handshake, give yourself a handshake. And then come back up. We're just going to do a real quick scorpion dog or 3-legged dog. So you're going to lift your right leg up, bend the knee, pull your heel towards your bum. Lift that knee up. And then just switch legs. And set it down. Take the leg up, bend the knee, pull the heel towards your bum, lift that knee up. And then go ahead and take your feet down, your knees down, come back to your elbows. On your elbows, push down to the elbows. You feel the back of your heart lifting up. That space underneath your armpit starts to suck up and away from the floor. You can hang out here. If you love a dolphin pose and you're just like itching for one, you could do that. Or you could just stay right down here. Take a deep breath in and out. And go ahead and take a seat that's comfortable for you. If sitting like this is not comfortable for you, swing your legs up in front of you. We just did the thing on the hands and knees where you reached up and you held your opposite foot. That is significantly easier to do with your knees on the ground than it is to do with your knees off of the ground. And by that I mean doing it for the down dog. And wherever your eyeballs look is where the rest of you is going to go most of the time, but like every rule there's an exception for that. So this is one of those places where if you keep looking up in the air, you're going to go to the floor. So once your eyeballs find your foot, you have to trust that they are still going to retain that information and give it to your hand. So your hand will still know where your toes are. You need to look back down at the ground in order to make it through this. So it's going to be leg, eyeballs, and then the eyeballs go back down, and then your hand goes back up. That has been, generally speaking, the more successful sequence of events in order to get here. Also, a wider and a slightly shorter down dog are going to be really helpful. Also, you could say, you know what was really cool? That place where we were on our knees and she wasn't actually asking me to stand up my hands again. I'm going to do that from table pose. So any of that is all good. So if you want to follow me, so you're going to either do the same thing I'm saying right from your table pose, or you're going to make a down dog that's a little bit shorter and a little bit wider in your feet, and then you're gonna suck the energy up into your armpits, okay, and then like pick up, I say left leg is gonna go up, you're gonna bend the knee, and then you're gonna look with your eyeballs underneath your right armpit, okay, those are where my toes are, cool. Now for stability, I'm gonna look back down at the floor in between my hands, I'm gonna try to come to right fingertips, and if that's going well, I'm gonna trust that my fingertips got the message from my eyeballs. Sometimes they get the message from the eyeballs and you still can't keep everything lifted up. So some days, yep. Okay. And there's usually one side that is going to be better with the balance things than the other. So try the other side. You can be surprised. Take your right leg up. Look for the toes. I was going to say look for the eyeballs. Looking for eyeballs is difficult because you have to do it with the eyeballs. Eyeballs can't see themselves. Oh, there. It could be like a high five. Like a foot and hand high five. And when you're done, it's a child's pose. Moderately entertaining at least. Let's start to bring yourself up to a seat. Push your legs out in front of you, lift your bum down, flat on the floor. Might even take your bum, deliberately move the flesh out, and then draw your right leg in if it feels comfortable to. Cross the right leg over, hook your left elbow around your right knee, lift into a twist, soften your low ribs, let your collarbones expand, your breath softens. More exhale. And release your twist and wrap up the other side. Taking your left leg in, crossing it over if you can. Right arm twists around the leg. Left arm is for support. Soften your belly and twist. One more breath out. And release your twist and unwind your leg. Take the soles of your feet towards each other and then bring your feet, it's like a longer diamond shape. We're going to take a little bit of a yin approach to this. We're going to hold it for a while, and this is going to get pretty deep into your outer hamstrings. So go to a place where you feel a little bit, because very shortly that little bit is going to expand quite a lot. And if it doesn't expand a lot, you can always move a little bit deeper into it. If it does expand too much, then you just kind of back yourself up and out. A little over another minute. Up off your legs, and then taking your legs out pretty wide. to whatever degree is comfortable to you. Slide your right arm down, reach your left arm up and over, and then relax your left hip down. Let your arm come forward slightly. Relax the back of your neck. One more exhale. Come on up. Find the other side, taking your left arm down, reaching the right arm over, and then actively dropping your right hip back down. Let the arm come forward. Lengthen the back of your neck. One more exhale. Bring yourself back up. You're going to draw your legs in so that the knees come up and then your elbows come down on the insides of your thighs. If you can make some contact there, try to push elbows against knees and knees against elbows, and then let your heart lift up and forward like it's going to lift up towards your thumbs. One more breath out. Relax that. Start to bring your hands down and see if you can bring them just back behind your feet. Try to scooch the feet a little bit further away from you. And if you feel like you are stuck in a knot and you're not moving anywhere, then you take your hands and untie them from the knot. Maybe your legs go out longer. Maybe you drop forward. But the more you're hanging out in here, letting your armpits drop on the insides of your thighs, you start to feel like there's a little bit more space to scooch the feet a little further apart. Giving yourself a little time to move into these places or to the side that you don't want to move so far into those places. Hang on for about another 3 breaths. Start to unwind your arms from underneath your legs. Bring your knees in. Take yourself down onto your back. If you have anything you're going to want to have handy for Shavasana, go ahead and grab it. We've got a couple more things to work through together before we go there. Go ahead and lift your feet up when you're ready. Knees up towards the armpits. Hold your feet or your shins or your knees or whatever makes sense to you. Yourself shift gently. You're a happy baby. One more exhale. Releasing your feet. Bringing them down a little bit wider than your hips. Take your arms and open them out like a Y shape, or holding on to your elbows if that feels good to you. Lift your toes to your shins. Drop your knees to the right. Keep your toes lifted to the shins so your knees are not together. You're getting a stretch along the front of your left thigh. You're not actually moving the left knee, but feel the left knee kind of sneak out like it's going to reach away from you, and then relax the insides of your shoulders. Your belly gently soften into your torso rather than lifting up and away from it. One more exhale. Taking your knees up and over towards the other side, so lifting the toes towards your shins. Feeling the right knee moving away from you, and then relaxing the insides of both shoulders. Letting the belly soften inwards. One more breath out. Coming back up, bringing your feet in a little bit and then putting your right ankle on your left knee. You can let the hands rest at your thighs to get a gentle hip opener, or take the right arm in between the legs to hold onto your left thigh. If this is a lot, of stretch and that's about as much as you would like, hang out here, but maybe you take your right hand to your right thigh, let your left foot drop down, and then you can start wrapping your hands around your right shin. Flex your foot, so you don't want to let the knee fall in or the foot fall in and kind of get your knee weird. Flex your foot. And kind of shift things side to side. Maybe taking half happy baby, which for some reason is significantly more difficult than the full baby. Relaxing your right leg. Oh, snap, crackle, up. And your left ankle goes onto it. And then take maybe your left arm between the legs, or you just gently press the thighs forward and take a more gentle variation. Hanging out here or releasing your right foot. You're going to hold that left leg in, try to cradle your shin, flex your left foot, and shift things around a little bit. Trying to take half happy baby, just the one leg reaching up, knee towards your armpit. Notice what else gets weird or sticky in response to that. Let both feet come down. Your feet towards each other, let the knees open up wide. You can use your fingertips to support the thighs if that feels good to you. One more exhale. And bringing the knees in. Letting your knees roll over towards the right. Opening your arms out towards a T. Letting your left shoulder soften. Letting your belly soften. Letting your jaw muscles relax. Let yourself simply be held by the floor. One more breath out. The legs going over towards the other side. Just finding a similar feeling twist in the other direction. One more breath out. Coming back to the center, letting your knees fall against each other, your arms come in by your sides, and then wiggle your shoulder blades just a little bit underneath your heart so your heart is a bit more open, a little more expansive. If there's anything else that your body needs in order for you to feel like your practice is balanced, you're welcome to go there. You've got a little time to explore. If you need to adjust your pose to feel well balanced for rest, go ahead and do that. You can leave your knees bent or slide your legs out. Just find a place where you feel fairly comfortable about resting for the next several minutes before we wrap up together. deeply. Back to that idea in humility, one of the reasons it makes someone kind of icky, just unfun. There's a part of it, a connotation that we put on it as being less than, but what if you looked at it differently? We recognize this as a part of the practice of acknowledging that we are connected to something way bigger, way grander than just ourselves. Our community, beyond. To roll yourself over to one side, taking a moment of gratitude for having this practice, for having this community to share together. And when you're ready, coming up and finding your own version of a comfy seat. Taking your hands together at your heart. Seal the practice with an Om. Deep breath in. Bowing down to honor the love and the darkness, the light and the darkness that resides within each of our hearts. Namaste. Thanks, friends. Have good days. Thank you.
April.
Thanks, Kate.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin. Much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. We opted for pants off.
Okay. Love it. All right. Bye, guys. See you
Bye.
soon.
Yep.